Number 10. Pale Tears. If you end your turn with unspent energy, next turn gain 2 energy. You might as well ignore the description of this one because the way it works is quite complicated. On turn 1, you save up 1 energy. After turn 1, you have 1 more energy for the rest of the battle, and that 1 energy you saved up returns to you in case you really need it for an emergency. Of course, I am simplifying this a lot. You don't really have to save up energy on your first turn to activate the tears. Sometimes it's better to use all of your energy on turn 1, and you don't have to only have 4 energy per turn. Sometimes you may use that 5th bit of energy to kill an enemy or block a particularly nasty attack. Pale Tears require a little bit of investment to become a +1 energy relic without any downsides, but if that's not enough for you, there's still a lot of flexibility and wiggle room when needed. It's kind of difficult to explain through text, but I do believe in your ability to understand basic math. You should really give Pale Tears a try if you still haven't. Number 9. Singed Ring. Gain 999 gold. Fun fact, it used to be 1000 gold, but then Anita Sarkeesian came up and said that number is not woke enough, so they took 1 gold away from you. That's her fault. Jokes aside, this will be the shortest entry on the list, because this relic has no downsides, it's always useful on every character, works with every deck, and you just can't ever go wrong with it. Shop relics have always been incredible, and with 1000 gold in your wallet you'll be able to afford a bunch of those. Not to mention card removals now cost more than a monthly payment for a studio apartment, so that's yet another helpful thing you can spend your gold on. I guess it can be an overkill if there's only 1 shop on the map, but nothing's really stopping you from getting some late game colorless cards to your deck, or just being a lot more wasteful with your potions on the way to the shop. Number 8. Yummy Cookie. Upgrade 4 cards. Guys, my mega creators, I have a crazy idea. What if we had another sand castle, but it was like actually a valid ancient reward and wouldn't make the players want to upload a I don't like Israel post on their social medias? And this is how Yummy Cookie was made. Seriously, this relic is so straightforward and helpful that I would rather slender my goat Arobas than talk about it. Starting with Ascension 9, you will be resting a lot in Act 1, so it's almost a guarantee that you will miss out on some helpful upgrades, which is why I value this relic as a very early Act 2 boost. You can also instantly upgrade that grand finale you just picked up after the boss fight. The game definitely shifted towards thicker decks, so 4 targeted upgrades feel very nice on your skin. I wish eating cookies improved my real life too, but instead it just became fat and stupid. Number 7. Archaic Tooth. Transform a starting card into an ancient version. The ancient starters are really strong. Not only they upgrade a mediocre card you always have in your deck instead of adding new ones, they also often allow you to adapt to the game's new meta and enhance your archetypes. Ironclad gets break. Apply 7 vulnerable, which is the most important debuff this character can get his hands on. It's also 20 or 40 damage for 1 energy, which is just always welcome. Just 1 energy bludgeon with 7 stack of wool on top of it. Wow. And we all saw those screenshots with instinct break. Don't lie to me, we all felt that inner satisfaction. Silent gets suppress, which is such an overkill it's scary. Stronger backstabs with 5 stacks of weak means you will have such an easier time blocking for the rest of your run, as well as straight up winning you the game if you manage to find tracking. Defect gets quadcast, which mocks multicast no matter the way you look at it, solves block if you have frost, solves hallways if you have glass, and solves bosses if you have dark. It might not be as good of an enabler as the other cards, but it will literally never hurt you and will be useful with almost any deck. Regent gets Meteor Shower, which is basically a fusion between break and suppress because it applies both vulnerable and weak, but it is an AoE card and the debuff stacks aren't that great. It's an amazing enabler that helps you both block and deal damage, and Fallen Star is probably the strongest starter card since the days of Eruption. Finally, my least played character, Necrobinder. She gets Bodyguard, which is also cool, but I heard it's not really needed because Unleash is already broken. There's something very unique about Arobas. None of his relics are exactly super good, but I am always excited to see him in Act 2. Archaic Tooth might be his only items on the list, but I can easily imagine myself picking something like Sea Glass or Prismatic Gem over it, because I don't see Arobas as a strength boost, I see him as a fun boost, and I'm glad at least one of his relics made it to the top. Number 6. Throwing Axe. The first card you play each combat is played twice. Oh wow. An Echo form? Turn 1 in every single combat? Yeah, sign me up. Obviously this relic relies on you having a decent turn 1 draw, and if you don't, it does as much as Putin does for the betterment of the country I live in. However, having some good innates in your deck or picking some up along your way to the boss mostly solves the inconsistency of this relic, and once you do solve it, the throwing axe just boosts your run into the stratosphere. You can block most of turn 1 upfront damage, you can set up your plays better for a double power card, or you can quickly burst down one of the enemies in the room with a powerful attack. I like this relic the most on the Regent because my playstyle on him is scaling myself up until I can nuke the room with a single swing of the blade or with a Radiate/Stardust nuke, which throwing axe helps achieve a lot faster. Now, most of Tanks' relics are aimed at fixing holes in your deck you still have by Act 3, Club for better draw, Clever if you neglected 3 moves, Gauntlets if you don't have energy gen, and etc. Throwing axe does not solve any of your problems. It relies on you already having a strong run going on, and this is exactly why I consider it to be the strongest. The biggest downside of the throwing axe is you forgetting about its existence and wasting your Echo form on playing Battle Trance. Personally, this has never happened to me. I don't make mistakes. I don't. Number 5. Runic Pyramid. At the end of your turn, you no longer discard your hand. While this relic is incredibly busted, I do want to say that it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you get this incredible opportunity to play your whole deck in order you decide on. This is extremely strong because knowing the enemy's patterns, you can easily choose which cards in your hand should be played now and which ones should be kept for the next turn. You do still rely on luck of the draw, but only for the first couple turns. From that point forward, you are the master of your own destiny. On the other hand, on the hand that concerns me a lot more, you can very easily break your whole hand and die in a couple of turns because you simply don't have enough resources such as energy and draw to get rid of useless or weak cards you're holding. If your deck isn't strong enough by the start of Act 1 and you mostly won thanks to a few specific cards, I actually think Runic Pyramid will do more harm than good. I personally prefer having only a couple of retain cards in my whole deck to have a better flow in my combats, and it's not that hard to have decent draw manipulation on the characters I play most often, so I don't pick Runic Pyramid all that much. Again, this does not make this relic bad. It just requires a very different approach to the whole game, which I simply prefer not having. By the way, this is the segment where I ask you guys to hit that freaking subscribe button. Make it as great as my daily life, give this video a like, and write a nice comment with a compliment in it. I have a Discord server you are free to join. It's a small but very decent community of mostly cool people, and I talk there daily, so do visit if you want to talk to me. Check out my Ko-fi page where you can help me out with saving up to leave Russia one day before our government goes full North Korea mode. Anyway, thank you for any type of support and your time. Back to the video now. Number 4. Storybook. Add Brightest Flame to your deck. Brightest Flame is probably the best ancient themed card. It's upgraded Adrenaline that can be then upgraded again and is available on all characters and doesn't exhaust. Adrenaline was already the best skill in Silence Arsenal in Spire 1, but in the sequel where getting more energy per turn requires even heavier sacrifice or decent investment first, this card always makes me as happy as an unfunny normie friend when you accidentally mention smiling friends. Now yes, it does have a drawback of burning 1 max HP off of you every time the card is played, but you don't really need max HP if you block everything thanks to 3 energy and draw. Plus there's like a bunch of ways to get more max HP in this game too, like Stone Humidifier, Cheese, and a lot of event options. I think the best thing about Brightest Flame is its undeniable consistency, which a lot of the Skatara's relics really lack. It's a straightforward power-up with a simple drawback, and I don't really know why you wouldn't take Storybook every single time you see it, especially over Ancient Slopes that Test offers alongside. It's time for a relic of an ancient that has the most probability of being in the Epstein files. Vak was the first demon. Number 3. Distinguished Cape. Add 3 apparitions to your deck and lose 9 max HP. Okay, Mega Crit? What are we even doing here? How is this a legit relic, and how hasn't it been nerfed even slightly? Remember when in Slay the Spire 1, you had to lose half of your max HP to gain those during an event you had to fish for? Well, forget it the same way my mom forgot to take the morning after pill 22 years ago, because now you can just get the same free apparitions as your boss reward. and you only lose a fraction of your max HP. You probably already know this, but apparitions give you the strongest defensive status effect in the game, intangible. For 1 energy, you completely rid yourself of the need to play any amount of block for an entire turn, allowing you to go for more offensive plays or to set up your powers without the worry of losing half of your health bar. Sure, the apparition cards themselves aren't perfect, but aside from me, who is? Yeah, having ethereal on them sucks if you draw them on a turn the enemy doesn't intend to attack, but that's fixable with having some discards in your deck or upgrading at least one of them on the rest sides. You won't be needing the rest after all. Number 2. Diamond Diadem. Whenever you play 2 or fewer cards in a turn, take half damage from enemies. GG, you won. You are now able to block nearly every instance of damage in the game, with the exception of some really heavy hits from elites and bosses. When I first found this relic, I thought to myself, why do I need this if I have my block solved? After picking up the diadem and actually going through Act 3 with it, I realized I do not have my block solved. It's a very difficult thing to solve unless you're already going infinite. I was literally going through some of the combats, seeing some heavy damage from the enemies and thinking to myself, do I really need to play anything else right now? And I didn't, and the stuff I was still holding was just not worth playing if it meant I get to only take half the damage from enemies. Some of the most devastating attacks became small bruises and the run felt so much nicer, and I'm not even talking about the setup turns, where you can just play your echo form and tank half as much damage as you would without this relic. Diamond Diadem is a type of relic that reminds you that just like with makeup, less is more. It is important to mention that you don't have to always use the diadem. Sometimes turns are more optimal with playing a bunch of bullshit and skilling yourself up very fast. Some attacks you don't even need diadem for, you can just block those normally while also dishing out decent damage. Despite not making you straight up invulnerable, I do still find this relic better than the apparitions given to you by the cape. They use up your energy, they skill Act 3 bosses and they do exhaust, while Diamond Diadem is just a relic. It's always there. It needs no upgrade, it does not need any luck of the draw or energy, and it will just be that amazing safety net you can always rely on, no matter what your build is and what enemy you're fighting. Before we get to our winner, let me address some relics you might have expected to see in this list, but didn't. Clone! Inconsistent. If you're cloning a card, you're also banning yourself from ever healing or upgrading at rest sites. If you don't clone every single time you can, you're playing the game the wrong way. Lord's Parasol, people are coping. Bloating your deck is not good. Meat Cleaver, amazing, but comes up too late. Fur Coat and Compass, not that good in single player, amazing in multiplayer. Electric Shrimp was going to include it on the list originally, but then realized it has the same consistency as Clone, but far less potential. Sneko Eye kills half the roster. This list was incredibly hard to make because we went from 30 boss relics to more than 70, so picking out the best was difficult. Remember that you can always just disagree with my rating and have a different playstyle. Being unskilled and having wrong opinions isn't a crime after all, so worry not. Alright, now number 1. Dusty Tome. Obtain an ancient card. This godsend really gives you some of the most broken cards in the entire game. Remember Corruption, the power card that allowed you to play all of your skills for free, but made them exhaust? Yeah, pretty damn hard to forget that one, considering that it's the best Ironclad card ever, and still is. The power spike this thing provides is second to none. What else do we have on the list? Rave Form, the thing that gives you free intangible. Holy fuck, and medium fries with ketchup, I will never pass on such an offer. We already discussed how effective apparitions are in everything you can use them for, but the fact that you get all 3 of those apparitions with a single card means you can do whatever you want for the next 3 turns without any damage received. I don't think this is the best card Silent can get up her sleeve, but there certainly is a reason she now has a more common serpent form as a compensation. And what about my autistic dog defect? He gets biased cognition. While a very good source of focus for your orbs, I don't quite think it's on the same level as the other cards you get from Darth. What made bias so good in Spire 1 is being able to find and play a bunch of them, as well as artifacts you could get from Panacea and Core Search. None of these options exist in the sequel, which moves biased cognition from S tier into, well, it's still pretty decent tier. The region gets Sealed Throne, which unironically might be the strongest card you can get from Dusty Tome because it just solves your start generation forever and gives you a pat on the back. Imagine Corruption, but instead of playing your skills for free and exhausting them, you just get to play all of your star cards for free and drop the exhaust part. That's it. That's Sealed Throne for you. billion energy through alignment, infinite block through particle wall, and the nuke runs through Royal Gamble and Radiate becomes so much easier to set up. Seriously, this is the most fun way to play Regent. Miss left, but I have fun in ways different from yours. Well, then you're having fun the wrong way, my darling. Go try this one out and tell me how it goes. Finally, Necrobinder. She gets Forbidden Grimoire, which is a go infinite button if you get it early. Very powerful, not that fun. Dicey Tom doesn't work for all and every build you got going on, but if you still go for it and pivot to the power card you got, rest assured victory will be near. And so is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know whether you agree with my list or if you're a chat who hates women simply for being correct. Thanks to my coffee supporters, Memo and Palsy. More Spire videos soon, and of course, have a good night.